I was born to kill it, I was meant to win. I am down and willing, so I will find a way. It took a minute, now it didn't happen right away. When it get hot in the kitchen, you decide to stay. That's how it winners made. Stick a fork in the hater on my dinner plate. I walk into the fire like it's just a bit of flame. I switch my style up, push the money pile up. I'ma get rich or die.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Clydesdale Media interview series. We're not naming this one, but I have not done an interview with an elite athlete since the CrossFit Games, and this is my first one. And I figured I would ask my friend to get me back on the horse. She's always a ray of sunshine, and I can't wait to talk to her and catch up. There's already a bunch of people in the chat. How you doing, Hattie?
Hello.
We've got people shouting you out. Rashad Barksdale.
Hi.
We've got Wad Zombie. We've got Sarah Cooper. We've
What's up,
got
girl?
Greg Pasley. And Sarah wants to know she's part of Team Canada too.
Yay. We love Canada.
So how have you been?
You know, I've been pretty good. Just getting back into training. After the games, I went way too hard. And so my body was definitely feeling run down for a little bit there. But I'm starting to slowly climb. I mean, we've got Wadapalooza, so we'll see how we feel there. But yeah.
I want to start in a weird place just because we're friends. All these wildfires are going nuts in California. You used to fight those fires.
Mm-hmm.
So when you see something like that, does it put you back in those situations when you were out there fighting those things? And is your boyfriend still doing that?
He is. So he'll be going back up north in April. Are you going up in April 1st? Yeah, he's going up April 1st. So he's currently not on right now. They do have a winter crew. And actually, my friend who's up where Jake is going, they are going to California, which is crazy because Alberta doesn't have a contract with California. So they must have just made one for this specific fire because it's so intense. Usually we go to like Montana or Idaho. But yeah, they must really need firefighters right now. So we're sending up, I think, 2 unit crews, which is like 20, that would be like 40 people. So
Wow.
Yeah.
So when you fight these fires, what are you attacking it with? What is what are you trying to accomplish to get them to stop?
Well, it's a lot different in the States. I've fought fire in the States before, and they do a lot of digging and handline because they don't have a lot of water. So where I used to work in high level, it's called. So it's here in Alberta. It's way up north where there's muskeg. You're pretty much walking. Sometimes you're walking in muskeg up to your belly button. So no matter what, we usually have water up there where you can kind of dig a little bit and then fill it up with your hard hat. And then we have these things, they're backpacks. We call them piss packs. They're called Wajax bags, but you fill them up with water with your hard hat. So you just like push your hard hat into the muskeg, fill it up with this dirty ass water, and then you throw it into your bag. So you just sit there, fill up your bag, and then by the time it's full, it's like 60, 70 pounds. And then you're walking around. So what happens is we get up in a helicopter, we go find this fire. We're assessing the fire in the helicopter, figuring out where the heel of the fire is and then where the head of the fire is. Obviously, we don't want to get dropped off anywhere close to the head of the fire. So we assess, we figure out where the safest place is to land. And then, so you'll land at the heel of the fire and then you'll walk in. Sometimes it's a kilometer, sometimes it's only, it's not very far at all. It just kind of just depends where you can get dropped off. So you walk into the heel of the fire and then usually, so a helitack crew goes in. So that's only 4 people. Usually you'll have 2 people go one way, 2 people go the other way. And so if the heel is, or the head is way up here, then you'll have like your 2 people going both ways, just putting out fire with your water. right? And then I assume, I mean, I haven't fought a ton of like active fire in the States, but what they would do a lot of the time is dig line. So same kind of idea where you're just digging line and you're just working your heel and then your flanks, and you're just making your way up to the head of the fire, right? And that's just so then it doesn't go any further out on the flanks or out on the heel, so it doesn't grow that way, right? So it only will grow where the head is heading. And that's kind of essentially how you do it. You can get serious winds change or anything like that. So yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy because that all sounds great until the wind gets involved.
Yeah. Yeah, I was on one fire where the head of the fire changed 3 times. So we were working our way, and then all of a sudden, so it was going this way, and then all of a sudden the winds changed, and then the head of the fire was that way. So you have to be really mindful. And then all of a sudden it changed again, and it was coming this way, right? So it's just like, it was good that it was just in smaller brush where, you know, you could kind of see what was going on. So it wasn't in huge trees where it's a lot harder to see where the fire is coming from. But yeah, it can get intense for sure.
I think a bucket to a helicopter is
yeah.
What Jake added some stuff.
Yeah, he put in his 2 cents over here. So hooking up a bucket. So it's not just us on the ground, right? There's helicopters, there's planes. So I don't know if you've ever seen those planes. I just posted a video where the scoopers, they'll go on like the ocean or lakes or something, and they'll actually like scoop water with their bellies and then come up. They'll drop water. But a really fun thing is hooking a bucket up onto a helicopter. So we actually have to do that. Once he drops us off, we get the bucket out and then we hook it up to his belly, and then he'll fly off and go dip that bucket into a lake or the ocean or whatever water source you can find. And then he'll come and then just drop it on like certain parts of the fire that's super active.
So when you watch this stuff on the news, like, can you empathize with the firefighters?
Yeah, for sure. It's a hard work, and especially when it's so hot and dry like that, sometimes you just feel useless because safety is obviously number one, right? So you're not going to go put yourself into danger. And when you can't do anything, you're pretty much just watching the helicopters and the planes drop water. And even that isn't doing a ton, because if it's super, super hot, they can only really drop down by the heel, which does some work, but I mean, it's still moving, right, with the head of the fire. So it sucks when you feel useless, when it's just like, okay, I'm just over here, you know, putting out these tiny little fires, meanwhile, and the head is just raging.
Yeah, that's crazy. So I'm going to put a link in the description below. There's a GoFundMe account. A couple CrossFit gyms lost everything in the fire. CrossFit LA. I think it's it's Oakmont, I think, or Oakfront or something like that. They also lost everything. There's a GoFundMe account. I'm going to put a link to that in the description. If you feel inclined to donate, anyone out there, please do so, as they're really struggling to fight these fires, because there isn't a lot of water in LA right now to fight them.
No, that's what I heard, that they're pretty much out of water. So that's, again, it's going to be really hard, because even just digging line, it isn't enough unless you're digging super wide line. And with that, you almost need machinery, you know, big dozers and stuff like that. Because even when I was in the States trying to dig line, I'm like, is this going to do much if a fire is just raging? You know what I mean? It can jump miles. Like, they'll find spot fires that are miles away. So yeah.
Yeah. My one experience with wildfires, and we're getting a little bit of feedback from when I talk. Hopefully it's not too bad for the audience.
Oh, is that from me?
It's what it is. It's me talking and then my voice coming back into your microphone. So it's doubling up.
Okay.
Until it recognizes it, then it stops. But at first it's a little bit of a, but it's
I can
okay.
take some headphones if it's better.
If it won't take that long, I think it will be better.
Okay. Jake, can I use your headphones?
Oh, yeah.
I'll just grab them real quick.
Okay.
Ooh, got the gaming headphones.
I miss those. I miss those from the Bali episodes.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Wad Zombie says we had tons of rain and our wonderful leaders drained most of our reservoirs.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Okay, how's that?
It's way better.
Okay.
Way better. So my one experience with wildfires is I was living in Florida and there were wildfires there. And I was trying to go get my parents from the airport in Jacksonville, and I lived in Tallahassee. Driving down the road, there's a wildfire on one side of the road. And as we were driving by it, it jumped. It jumped from one side of the road to the other side and totally freaked me out.
And you got to witness that?
Yeah, as it happened. And then when we got to Jacksonville, we couldn't get back the same route because they closed that down till they could get that contained.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I saw one jump when I was up in the helicopter too. It was one of the biggest fires up north, and I was sent to it. I was leading the fire, and so we were up north, or we were up in the air, just trying to like assess it, figure it out. And I was just like, okay, if it just doesn't jump the highway, then we're good. And sure enough, 3 minutes later, it just jumps the highway. And the guy he was a higher up. He was up there with me trying, because this was one of my first really big fires, like leading it. And so he was up there helping me out a little bit. And we both just looked at each other. Oh my gosh, why did I have to say that? It heard me, and then it just jumped across.
Yeah. Yeah. It is crazy what nature can do.
For sure it is.
It can be beautiful and it can be devastating. In a snap. It's insane.
Yeah.
So I want to go into the CrossFit year. Last we talked and last we hung out, you were having one of the most amazing seasons that you have definitely ever had.
Yeah.
You had made your first CrossFit Games. We talked right before that started. And I could not have been more excited for you. Like this lifelong dream, you get there, and then event one happens and there's a big tragic event.
Yeah.
How do you compartmentalize that you have this dream and you're there, yet this other thing happened? And I've wrestled with this for 6 months, so I'm sure there's no easy answer. Yet how do you be graceful and understand that we lost somebody and all of that stuff and still go on?
Yeah.
What was that Friday like for you?
It was definitely tough. Like we all got into that I wanted to say gymnasium. We got into the Coliseum and had that meeting at night, you know what I mean? And it was kind of just like the unknown. We just didn't really know. And then when Dave said that it was going to keep going on and people storming out, it was just, there were so many emotions going on. And I am just already an empathetic, emotional kind of person. So I was just like, holy crap, this feels insane. I didn't really know what to do, but I also was just like, okay, step back and figure out what you want, not what other people are doing. Because I feel like a couple people kind of saw what other people did and then they instantly reacted, rather than just like, let's just sit here, talk it out, figure it out, instead of, you know, acting on emotion almost. So for me, I thought I need to do that for myself and not act, you know, abruptly, and just kind of figure out what I want out of it. Again, it was definitely hard, but I think being a rookie, it was even harder in the sense of, you know, we wanted to be there so bad, and that was our lifelong dream. And so it was just like, okay, well, I still want to compete. So, you know, after a while, I was like, no, I still do want to compete. I just want to figure out how I can do it in the most respectful way, I guess, and still, fulfill my dream of being here, kind of thing. I don't know. It was such a weird feeling.
How much who was in your corner that night? And you have your coach Tristan, you have Jake, you have a friend with CBG, Amanda, right?
Yeah.
So were those the people you kind of bedded down with and talked to and tried to figure out what's next?
Yeah, and that's what I was going to bring up too. Is it definitely helped having my team there, my people, you know what I mean, to kind of calm me down and tell me their opinions and just like tell me how proud they are of me no matter what, kind of thing. And yeah, we had like, I think there was, so my mom, my manager Rashad, who said hi earlier, Tristan, his wife, our best friends that we haven't seen in a while, Brandon and Nicola were there. We had this big Airbnb, so there was all of us in there. Amanda, there was a ton of us in there, and it was just nice to have everybody when I got back to, be there for me. And they said, we're here for you no matter what you decide and stuff. So yeah, it was just really nice to have everybody at that, at the Coliseum that night. Tristan was there. So it was just me and Tristan, but it was really good to have him there as well, because he again said that as well. He's like, whatever you decide, like, I'm here for you. You know what I mean? So yeah.
So once you made the decision that you were going to go on, how did you take the next steps to get yourself ready for Friday morning, right? Or was it Saturday morning?
Saturday. Yeah, Friday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Started Thursday? Yeah. Like, it felt like so long ago. We're already on to new things. But yeah, I think I just told myself, hey, we just need to take this one event at a time and just figure it out as we go, kind of thing, not have these big expectations. I think the one thing that went through my mind was, I don't know if I should be celebrating or not, because I don't know if that's, disrespectful, or I don't know. I didn't really know what to do in that sense. And I thought that I was going to be okay on that first event, but as soon as they called my name, so we were all in a line right in the back, and there's this big curtain, and then there's a little slit in the curtain, so you can kind of see out there, and you can see someone in there or out there telling you, okay, now come, right? So we were all lined up over here. The slit was right here, so one person, you'd go right here and you'd be in front of the slit, and then the person would go, and then the next person would come out, and then you would go. So I was still over here, and I was like, okay, I think I'm okay. And then as soon as I walked right here and I could just see the people, there was no music. You could kind of hear out there too, how it was just like very eerie. I just started crying. I was like, oh my gosh, this is our first year, and it's just so intense. I didn't know what to do, and then I didn't really know what to do when I went out there. It was hilarious because Maggie, Maggie, one of the head judges.
Yeah.
So she was out there and she was telling me, come on, come over here. But I thought she was like trying to give me a high five. So I was like, yeah. And I didn't really know what to do. I was just so flustered when I went out there. Again, there was just no music. The people, everyone was quiet. But again, I was like, you just got to take it event by a time, or one event at a time, because that's just all you could do. You can't think about the weekend. You just got to take it one event at a time and figure it out as you go.
So Sarah asked this question. I think you kind of addressed it. Do you think it was easier on the rookie since they didn't know Lazar? Not saying it wasn't difficult, but curious. And you actually said it was harder because it's your dream and you're there, and there's a lot on that.
Yeah, I think it's different between every individual. I'm also not great with deaths, even if I don't know people. Like, it still hit me, but I can't even imagine the people that actually knew him. Yeah, I had a dream. This might be a little TMI, but I had a dream that night after it happened that I was like swimming and then he was below me and like reaching out for help. And even that was like, what? Like, I don't even know him. I didn't even see him. You know what I mean? And it was just like, holy crap. So it still hit me, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I wouldn't say it was easier. It might have been easier for us to kind of go on in the sense of, yeah, this was our dream and we wanted to, fulfill our dream. But at the same time, I felt like, I don't know, it was just a weird situation because people didn't really talk and I didn't really know too many people either. So it was kind of hard to like have conversations with people as well. So yeah.
I think Jeremy Eats World says it for all of us.
Yeah.
That's got to be tough as hell to process. And on a lighter note, did Hattie get that headset from the helicopter she rides in?
It does look like one of those, eh? Nah, Jake's a gamer, so I stole his gaming headset.
Sarah said, easier isn't the right word for my question. Hopefully you knew what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we do. Yeah, there's no judgment on this show. We're just trying to walk through this process. And like I was there live, and it was when you walked into the stadium that morning, it was the weirdest thing I ever encountered in sport.
Yeah.
The stadium was full, but there was no sound.
Yeah, no sound. And yeah, it was just 3, 2, 1, go, and you're just like, okay, like this is weird. We're doing some deadlifts and then we're doing some rope climbs. Like, is this how the weekend is gonna go? And I get it. The first one, maybe that was more of a tribute, like let's have some silence or whatever. But then we were like, if we're gonna keep this weekend going and we're doing this for the fans, but also ourselves and also him and also all these things, and we want to still kind of do our best in a way, then we need at least like maybe some music to just try to lighten it up a little bit. We're not trying to lighten it up in the sense of, oh yeah, that happened, we're done with that. We still wanted to remember him, but like let's lighten it up just a little bit with some music or something, because that was just, it was like, yeah.
Well, on Saturday morning when they played the music for Chad, I think that gave the fans then permission to cheer. Like,
but then that was another thing. I had people being like, why are they cheering? Why are they happy? It's like, oh, you can't,
they were going to be
win.
I came to the resolution that people were going to be pissed off no matter what happened that weekend. It was a no-win situation that everybody was trying to tread through, and there were moments that things were going to happen and half the community was going to be pissed and half the community was going to be okay with it. And you just had to live with that and move on.
Yeah. It's not that people were just forgetting what happened or laughing about it or anything like that. It's like they still, people process things in different ways. And I mean, people still did come there from all around, the world even. And it's just like, okay, well, if this is still going to go on, then like, let's at least let people, have a semi good time.
Was there a moment on the weekend where you just had to shut down the outside noise? Were you ever able to do that?
It was hard. I think just in each workout, that was just my time to be like, okay, I'm going to go out and try to enjoy. This is what I love to do, is work out. And so, I tried to take things from each event and just like be grateful for certain things and, just try to enjoy the moment when I was there. And so that kind of was the time that I was able to do that, I guess. But then when I would go home, all of a sudden it would just be a flood of emotions again. And it would just be like push and pull of, oh no, am I doing the right thing kind of thing? Should I stop? Should I, I don't know. It was just such a weird feeling.
So as the weekend on, from being in the crowd, it seemed to get easier to move on as the weekend went on. Like by Sunday, it was as close to normal as we ever got that weekend.
Yeah.
And it still was not normal.
Yeah.
Like, but it moved closer in that direction. You said, first of all, after it was over, were you proud of yourself for one, completing the weekend under the circumstances in which you were presented and being able to endure that tough, hard time? Let's just start with that one.
I mean, I think there wasn't any feeling of that at first. I was kind of just like, okay, I just did the thing. It was weird and that's it. But then, you know, a lot of people were like, "Hey, I'm super proud of you for doing what you did under those circumstances." And then that kind of made me realize, "Oh, yeah, I'm proud of myself too because that was hard." Like especially that first workout in the Coliseum. I was like, "This is my first time stepping in the Coliseum as a CrossFit Games athlete. I should not be feeling like this, but I get that, you know, in these circumstances I am." And it literally felt like I had already done that workout twice. That's how depleted I was. So I was just sitting there like, how are we going to do a huge chipper right now, just feeling this depleted, you know? But we got through it. And yeah, I am proud. And I was proud of myself, especially as people were kind of telling me that. It opened up my eyes of like, hey, you do need to be proud of yourself no matter what.
So you mentioned earlier in the show after the games, you went hard in training. What was that a response to what you had just been through, or did you have other plans to try to get in volume where you could?
No, definitely not the second one. It was like I laid on this couch right here for a week straight and ate Wendy's every single night. I would have a waffle in the morning and Wendy's at night, and that's all I would eat for a week straight. And I would just lay on this couch, just scrolling or watching TV or whatever. And I was just a little bit depressed of like the whole thing, trying to figure out what just happened. And so my reaction to that was like, okay, stop being like this. You need to move. And so in hindsight, I should have gone to the mountains. I should have, you know, still maybe gone to the gym and got on a bike or something, you know, moved, went on walks or whatever it was. But I was just like, I went to what I knew my body, you know, could do. And so I was just like, okay, I'm back. And I was back for at 4 hours a day, like every day the next week. So it's just like I only took 1 week off after the games, and that I shouldn't have done that, but I just didn't know what else to do. So, and my body surprisingly felt good, but I honestly think I was just still riding like that adrenaline or something. Uh, because then I did Rogue, I think 3 weeks after the games it was, or something crazy like that. And my body was just like, poof, just hit the wall. I was like, oh my gosh, this is not ideal, but
And that was the road qualifier.
yeah.
So what is Hattie's go-to Wendy's order?
Oh, number 6, the spicy chicken burger.
Frosty on the side.
Sometimes I did maybe twice of that week, or else I'll just get a pop, some kind of pop.
Okay. Just had to know. I think so Wendy's is actually based here in Columbus. And I'm mad at them because I think they changed the chicken in their spicy chicken.
No, you can't. It's so good.
And the original spicy chicken was one of my favorite things in the world. And now I think
What's different?
It's just not as good. I think the quality of chicken has gone down.
Oh, that makes me mad because I love that order so much.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't go there very often, but like when I do, that's what I would get. And I can't even order it anymore.
Ah, you better riot or something. Back to the normal chicken.
This must be a Canadian thing. Wendy's has pretty good poutine.
Oh, I actually haven't tried their poutine.
That's a Canadian thing, right? That's cheese, curds, and gravy on fries or something.
Oh yeah, it's so good. There was this one place I went to in Vancouver after some country concert that I went to. We got poutine, and this poutineery, you could get anything. I think I got the pierogi poutine or something, but they had all these crazy poutines. It was so good.
Now, pierogies, you're talking my language. That's a Pittsburgh
I
Polish thing that, man,
yeah, they're good.
I miss those so much. They have pierogi pizzas in Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, there's our best pizza place here has a pierogi pizza and it's really good. We actually just made a pierogi casserole the other day. We were having Friendsgiving and we just thought, okay, what should we bring? We had pierogies in the freezer, so we looked up recipes and found this pierogi casserole. It was bomb.
Wow. Okay. I may have to
Try it
get that
out.
recipe from you. So then you get to the off season. You don't qualify for Rogue, right? Because your body has hit the wall.
Oh, those were some crazy workouts.
One more poutine. That is breakfast poutine with poached egg is life.
Okay.
That actually sounds money.
That sounds bomb.
Yeah, I love poached eggs. So then you sign up for Desert City Classic, where you go and you take second place. And I think you actually, in your stories on Instagram, if I'm remembering correctly, you weren't feeling well that weekend.
I was sick as a dog.
And so you're fighting through this illness and you still come in second place. So is the theme of the year now becoming, hey, I'm proud of myself for fighting through whatever it is I had to fight through that weekend. Still came out okay on the other end.
Oh yeah, because then I did another competition here in Calgary, and
Oh, I'm
I was
getting there.
like, oh yeah. So a day before, I thought, okay, I'm feeling pretty good, and then the day of, a sickness hit me, and I'm just like, am I just not supposed to be competing right now? I mean, I think I was putting my body through the ringer, so my body probably was just like, what are you doing to me right now?
So you're speaking of Battle of the Barracks.
Yep.
Where you won sick. And
That belt.
if people have followed this podcast, we interview all the semifinal athletes. So these are my peeps on this podium here. And it was so cool seeing you and Gabby and Amy. Is it Amy?
Yeah.
And in the top three, because I've talked to you guys every year for like 3 years.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome.
So I love the sweep. But I've got to ask about the belt.
It's awesome. I've wanted it for years. And so finally this year I was like, okay, I'm actually here. I'm not in Bali. So I just went thinking I got to get that belt.
So
it's heavy duty too.
So it's a real like championship belt.
Oh yeah. She got them custom made.
Is that the coolest trophy you've ever won?
Yeah, I'd probably say so. It's pretty up there for sure. Yeah, because usually it's just medals. I mean, Desert City Classic gave us some really cool wooden plaques. Those were really nice. But that belt is pretty sick.
Yeah, in all of sports, like a championship ring would be number one.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
And then for me, number two would be the belt.
It's pretty kick-ass.
Now, do you have it displayed?
Yeah, I do. I have like this little area in my room that has my vision board, and then a bunch of medals, and that is in there too.
Have you worn it around the house and just been like, Jake, I'm the
Look at my belt. I actually wore it to the gym 2 days later when I was coaching and just didn't say anything. It's like, okay, guys, we're getting ready to do the warm up or whatever. And everyone's just looking at me. What are you doing? Oh, this little thing.
Yeah. Established dominance.
Yeah.
Just wearing that belt in. That's awesome. So when you did those two, you were sick through those two. What was your favorite part of the 2 weekends?
Ooh. I mean, both of them I got to see friends, so I think that was awesome. I knew I was going to see Gabby and Amy and a bunch of other people that I haven't seen in a while. And then Desert City, I got to compete with actually the 2 girls that I'm going on a team to Wodapalooza with. Tristan came. So yeah, it was just awesome being with people that I love. And
Was it
yeah,
your first normal competition since the games? And did it
yeah,
feel normal?
yeah, yeah, it did. It felt pretty normal. I thought the Desert City was really well done, well run, and then the venue that they were in was really cool too. So
Yeah, the one in Arizona, that's where they hold Legends
yeah,
as well. It is that Arizona State campus is gorgeous.
yeah, it's super cool.
And the pool right off of the two main floors, amazing.
Yeah, it's the perfect venue. That's all you want. You got a pool, you got 2 different stages. It
And
was
it
super.
has that balcony where you can get some
Mhm.
awesome shots with the camera.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. And
Yeah.
then the Calgary one has always been a really cool competition. They're just super small and intimate. They're actually moving to a bigger gym, which is sad in a way. I'm so excited for them, but just how intimate this competition has been always. It's just yeah, I'm glad that I got to compete there one more time in that venue, but I am excited for them to be in a bigger venue. It'll be really cool.
CrossFit says you should cut some promos and call out other Canadian CrossFitters with the belt.
Nice, yeah.
And then I think he's talking about something different than us, but he said there's plenty of things on ASU campus that are gorgeous. But I think he's talking about something else.
Yeah.
Just guessing. So, so you go to these two events, you kind of get back a sense of normalcy. You podium at both, kind of get on a roll. But then it's time to take a break until Wadapalooza.
Yeah.
So what then? And while you're kind of taking this break, news is breaking about a new CrossFit Games season, about a new league that's forming, and you still have Wadapalooza on the horizon. Like, what is your thinking as all this is coming out? Are you someone that wants to take advantage of every opportunity if you can, or are you just saying, I need to pick my path?
Mm, a bit of both. Like obviously, I say yes too many times, so I think that's kind of what happened with like Desert City and then Battle in the Barracks as well. But I really am glad that I went to those two. But lately, yeah, I haven't even really been excited for Wadapalooza. I hope it turns around in the next week because it's literally next week. But um I think I was just saying yes to too many things. So for me, with everything coming out, I've been trying to be smarter in the sense of being like, okay, let's just figure out what we need to do rather than just trying to do too much. You know what I mean? And even with World Fitness Project, it would be cool to do it, but I think I might just, sit back and see how it goes this year and then figure it out from there. Just because there is so much, and I still do want to compete at the CrossFit Games. So um, I don't know. It's just a little bit up in the air right now. So I feel like I'd rather focus on what I've always tried to focus on, which is the games.
Yeah, I've we did a show my Sunday night show last night with Carolyn Prevost, and we talked about how with all this coming out and the season becoming more jam-packed with events,
Hmm.
that as an athlete, athletes have been clamoring for more opportunity and more ways to make money and more ways to get their name out there. But to do that, now that it's here, you're going to have to change the way you train,
Yeah.
because training is going to be about who can stay as consistently on top for a longer part of the year than just going into a whole training and peaking for one opportunity.
Yeah. Which I don't love just because I think lately I've just been traveling too much. So for me, the thought of traveling for all these competitions, I'm over it. Maybe my perspective will change later on when I'm not so burnt out from just traveling and trying to do all these things. Um, but I love the feeling of, training hard for that one thing, all year. So I don't know. it will be different for sure, but I don't know if I really love the thought of that, to be honest.
Yeah, it is a complete mind shift
Yeah.
for most CrossFit athletes.
Yeah.
Like other sports, that's the way they live, right? The NFL plays every single week, and nobody's 100% going into every game.
But also, I
So
feel like they probably get paid to travel and everything. That's the other thing, is just it's such a, yeah, it's so much to have to travel, find accommodation, go find your groceries, go find this, do all of that, it's a lot. And if you're paying out of pocket, I mean, I'm grateful for some of my sponsors who have definitely helped me with these. If I didn't have that, then I don't know what, I would do. So it is nice, but it's a lot.
yeah, I guess until you win a pro card with the WFP and you have a contract that would pay for all of your travel,
Yeah,
you are kind of on the outside trying to get in there. I think
Right.
that makes a great storyline
for sure.
of the underdogs trying to get to that point. So as a media person, I kind of love that.
Right.
But I do get, and I'm going to pop up this question because I think it fits in what we've been talking about. Have the games lost any luster as a goal? Also, how does Canada fix its World Juniors hockey team? We'll skip the last part, but so for you, the games is still your main goal.
Right now, yeah.
Do you think that is the same sentiment for a lot of athletes?
Honestly, I don't know. It's hard to say because I feel like the people that are signing with the World Fitness Project, you'd think that maybe that's not their goal, but then I keep on hearing, oh no, you can do both. You can do both. People will be doing both. So I have no idea. For me, I don't want to lose hope in CrossFit just yet. It's kind of, I think I'm so new and maybe I'm naive. I don't know, but I also just, they're still young and they're just trying to figure themselves out. And I get that they have made mistakes, but we all make mistakes. And I just don't know if we need to be throwing them into the trash just yet. You know what I mean? So for me, I just still want to strive for something that I kind of have always strived for. And I mean, again, I'm just going to see how this World Fitness Project goes as well. And maybe I will push for it as well. I just, I need to stop putting too much on my plate though at this point.
Yeah, I'll give you my 2 cents. I think that there is a silent majority who still think the games is the big thing, the big deal. They're just not talking. They're just not out there saying it. The people that are out there talking have like maybe a different point of view. But I do think that the majority of the athletes think the games is the peak.
Yeah.
What I love about the World Fitness Project is it's going to push the creativity for CrossFit because there is going to be competition and CrossFit won't be the only game in town now.
Right.
They're going to have to look at their season and maybe streamline it so it makes more sense.
Do you think that they will say, hey, you can only do one or the other?
I don't think we're big enough for either side to be able to say that at this point.
Yeah.
I think it has to be both. I think it's going to be difficult to do both with the first tour event being in May, right on the same weekend as the French Throwdown.
Mhm.
All those European athletes lose a qualifying event because they have to come all the way to Indianapolis to compete.
Yeah.
So I think that's really hard. But if you wanted a pro event and you wanted all these opportunities, you're going to have to make a sacrifice somewhere to get it.
Right.
But even if World Fitness Project doesn't make it, right? The XFL didn't make it when it tried to compete with the NFL, but they took bits and pieces of it that were innovative and creative, and the NFL adopted them.
Yeah, and hopefully that's what CrossFit would do because, you hear all the talks of, oh, they don't listen, they don't do this, blah, 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 blah. But I feel like they've made little changes, trying to listen here and there. Maybe not big ones where you can
I think it's
see
all in a
them.
vacuum because they've had nobody competing against them,
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
that's true.
But maybe we get that finally.
Yeah.
That's just me. So I want to talk about the game season. So now you have to do the open and you have to finish in the top 1%.
hmm
Should not be a problem for Hattie Kanyo.
Should not be a problem. Hopefully. Let's cross the fingers. I don't know. You just never know.
Then things get squirrely.
Yeah.
There are two different ways you can qualify. You can either do the online semifinal at an affiliate, and that if you finish in the top 12 in the world, you get a spot to the games.
Is it 12 or 14?
They just added another in person, so it got reduced to 12.
Oh, see, I'm so out of it. I'm just asking Tristan to do all of this for me because there's so much. I just need a train over here and you tell me what to do.
And then then you have the choice of going to a handful of different in-person events where you can compete, where you'll have to finish in the top 2 to get your spot to the games. As someone who struggled to make it to their first games, and they've changed this so wildly, what are your thoughts on top 2 at in-person events and top 12 worldwide in the online semi?
I mean, if I don't shit the bed, then top 2 could be attainable. Like I did at semifinals. No, it is going to be rough though. It's going to be tough because online qualifiers, like I'm okay, but I don't love them. So yeah, it's just going to be harder, I feel like.
When you don't know
And
who's signing up for each event, right? So you don't know what the competition is. It's like this wild unknown.
yeah. And it does, yeah, you have to take an account because it's like I know a couple people who are going to the one that I'm trying for right now, and it's just like, okay, maybe I could beat them, but at the same time, I don't know. At the same, I don't know. It's hard, but you still got to go and try. So I feel like because you can do both, so I feel like I'll probably try to do an in-person one and online.
Yeah. Well, since you say yes to everything, you can do like 5 of the in-persons.
Let's not do that. My body would just be so broken.
Your coach is here saying, wasn't she in first till the last event at semis? If you listen to our year-end show, I actually picked her as the surprise performance of the year for that semifinal performance because you were unstoppable until you weren't.
Oh, do you guys gotta bring it up? Like, what is with this? Everyone
'Cause
just shut your mouths. No, just kidding.
It was truly one of the most amazing performances I've ever seen. And my friend was out there killing it. Like
It was pretty electric.
until the freaking last event. Now that last event was picked as the most brilliantly programmed event of the year.
Was it?
Because the length of that lunge was such that it destroyed some people.
Yeah.
And if you messed up once, it seemed to compound.
And that's what happened. I got a costly no rep, which shouldn't have been a no rep. Judge, whoever my judge was, thanks a lot. No.
Yeah. Tristan says he's just being a turd.
I know.
Canadians in those last events.
Yeah, just
referencing
Folo
Erica
too,
Folo,
eh?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because you still finished in a tie for third.
Yeah.
So even shitting the bed on the last event, you finished in a tie for third with Ariel Lowen.
It's true. I'm pretty proud of it that weekend for sure. It was such a weird feeling, where when you know that you're going to be making it for sure. And then all of a sudden, so all I wanted to do was make the games. And then when I knew that I had a shot at podium, that just changed. It was just, I don't know. And then I didn't make it onto the podium, technically, whatever. It was just such a weird feeling. I wasn't proud of myself at first, but then obviously in thinking about it afterwards, it was, yeah, I'm proud of myself. It's
And you
just,
didn't know where you stood until someone told you right before that last event.
yeah. Hey, you made it to the games. Oh, now my body just relaxed, and that's why I didn't really go very hard on that last one.
You were the only person to lock up a game spot before the last event.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I just didn't need to know it before the last event.
Yeah.
That's okay though.
CrossFit says Brent made a career punting final events into the stands. He did. Before he made it, he blew up a couple times at the end.
Oh yeah, okay. I feel like we all have to experience it just to know what it feels like, and then that kind of pushes you harder. And again, I needed to be a little bit more mentally strong in the sense of I heard that news. Okay, that's amazing. I'm so proud that I made it, but we still need to go out there and perform. You know what I mean? It wasn't just all of a sudden, okay, rainbows and lollipops, my body is like a little rag doll over here, doesn't know what it's doing.
Well, and thankfully for you, you got to learn that lesson when it didn't cost you a game spot.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. You still got to go. You still finished third.
Yeah.
You still got all those things. Yeah. I was riding the high watching you. And then when I saw you fall back on that final event, like I'm yelling at my TV, Hattie, pick him up.
Pick 'em up. It's funny because when I first picked them up, it wasn't that bad. I was like, okay, this is all you got to do. It's just it started getting hard at that last line, and that's why I took the big lunge, and then he just called it a no rep. But there's video proof that I did get past that line. But it's
So
fine.
you shouldn't have gotten no reps.
So another thing that I learned as well is that I should appeal on because obviously we weren't allowed to leave, so I should have appealed right then and there too. And I didn't ever have experience of doing that, so I didn't really think about it that you could do that. So really I should have just been like, hey, actually that was a rep, so now you got to give me my time back or whatever, right? But it's okay.
So we're coming to the end. I'm going to ask you one question, just overarching. One of the big major rule changes this year for all the online portions of the game season are that you have to make your videos public.
Yeah.
So they are out there for everybody in the world to see. And if you are a qualified judge, you actually get the opportunity to go in and judge the video and give it one of the 4 ratings, like good to go,
Take a look.
bad but with penalty or something like that, and then invalid or one of the other ones, 0 score. So you're going to be judged by a group of people doing that. And do you think that I've talked to other athletes that are excited about that? They feel like other people were getting away with things, and this way it will stop that from happening.
I am 100% with them. I think that people do get away with things. And, even the stuff that happened last year, it's like, okay, cool, but move better. I'm sorry. But, I take pride in moving really well. And yeah, I get no reps too. I got a no rep on those box step ups. I got one rep taken away, but I still try to move. I move so well. No, just kidding. I move pretty good that Tristan was screaming at me at the Desert City Classic because Amanda and I joke around that one of my best friends is the one that taught me CrossFit, and he taught us to move so well that we like pause at the top of our dumbbell snatch to make sure everyone, look, I'm locking out. Okay, next, look, I'm locking out. So at Desert City Classic, it was thrusters, and I do the same thing with my dumbbell thrusters where I pause and I go down. It's not just me like taking a breath, it's actually just me pausing at the top of every rep. And he was yelling at me. I just looked at him and I was just dying at that point. But he's like, stop pausing at the top.
He says these thrusters from Desert City will be the death of me.
So we've been working on them. Let's just say that. Just being a little bit faster with bringing those dumbbells down.
Yeah. I had the same thing. The first coach I ever had in CrossFit was very, very hard on your movement. And if you didn't make 3 points of in a line, then it wasn't a rep. And like you would get no rep in just a class workout all the time.
I mean, I would way rather that than just try to hurry through something and not, and be doing quarter reps or whatever it is. I've always been like that, and I'm going to hold the standard. So,
But what I did notice as well, and this is where Tristan's coming from, my gym would go to local comps and we would get beat because we were hitting full extension. We were hitting
and other people
all
weren't
the
getting
points of
away with it.
performance, and they were getting away with it.
Yeah, it is frustrating for sure. Sometimes you do have it in the back of your head on an online one. It's just like, should I just not no rep myself, or you know what I mean? Or should I just go as fast as I can and it's okay if I'm not fully extending? But in the end, there's times on online ones where I get a no rep and I'll no rep myself and then I'll just keep on going. You know what I mean? And it's just like, okay, maybe I didn't need to do that. If they want to take the penalty, then cool. But it's just ingrained in my head that that's just what I'm going to do. So whatever. But yes, I agree. And I'm happy that we're going to get judged from, all the judges because.
So a couple quick hitting questions. First of all, have you solved the getting sick at competitions? Or do we have to wait for Whatapalusa to find out?
We're probably going to have to wait for Whatapalusa.
And there you are doing both individual and team.
Yeah. If I would have known it was 6 workouts for both, I probably would have only done one, to be honest. It's just a lot right now, but
It is.
here we are.
The good thing is, the team, you don't have to do every aspect of the workout, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you get a little more rest for sure.
Although the first year they did this where you could do both, I talked to athletes who are like, I'm never doing that again. But then I saw them signed up for both the next year. So,
and then they came out with 6 and 6. That's wild. I feel like they didn't do that last year.
I think it's been 6. Well, last year with the weather, things got all
Okay.
cut up and everything. But I think the intention has always been 6 and 6.
Okay. I didn't know that, so I just assumed they did that this year. And yeah.
Hopefully there's a couple sprints.
Yeah. Whatever. We'll just get through it. We'll eat lots of food.
Are you excited to work out in the sand again?
Yeah.
You did that back in Elfit. You got some experience with it.
Oh yeah, I actually love it. I hope there's a sprint in the sand. That's
so what? 3 of the events are supposed to be in the sand?
Yes, I heard 2 or 3.
2 or 3. Okay. Yeah. And then your team is Madison McElhaney and Alyssa Shower.
Alyssa, yeah.
Alyssa Shower.
Yeah.
And are they both with Tristan?
Yes, they are. Alyssa just started with Tristan not too long ago.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't recognize the name.
Yeah, she's Madison's best friend.
Okay.
And we all competed at Desert City together. So it was super cool.
Are you more excited for team or individual?
I'd say team. It's just more fun. And I just don't need to be going that hard right now, but I'm going to have to. So we're just going to have to nut up and shut up and just do it.
Did you say nut up and shut up?
Yeah, I don't even know what that means, but I just heard it once.
Oh my gosh, that caught me off guard. Wow, that's a great line. I'm going to use that.
You've never heard that before?
I've probably heard it before. I didn't expect it out of your mouth.
Yep. We're going to have to do.
So you've been to Whatapalusa before. Have you competed on the elite level there?
No, I competed RX, I think maybe 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And so like, so you're getting all these new opportunities because you're a games athlete.
Yeah.
How has that been?
It's been good. I kind of wish that so I got asked to do the reps ahead that day on Thursday, but I'm doing elite, so or I'm doing individual, so I almost wish that I just didn't do an individual. I would way rather do reps ahead. That it looks like so much fun. So I hope that they ask me to do it again someday, but
And
yeah.
they pay well.
Yeah. It's just
And
fun because it's I love the idea of it, the
Yeah.
knockout and it's interval stuff, which I love. So yeah.
They do a couple things better than anybody else. It's only 2 people on the floor, so it's easy to know the story,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
It's fast. It's like 5 minutes long. So if I want to introduce somebody to CrossFit, I can show them reps ahead and
Yeah.
it makes sense to them in one sitting,
Oh,
right?
I like that. Yeah. I never thought of
And
it like that.
they have these big counters on screens behind the
Mhm.
athletes. So you know exactly like who's ahead and who's behind.
Yeah, they do it
And
really well.
they do that really well. And the fact that there's guaranteed pay for every athlete that comes and does it
Yeah.
is they've got something pretty cool there.
Yeah, I agree. So hopefully someday I'll be able to do that, but
Yeah.
we'll
They've
see.
got quite the lineup with Hopper and Pepper going on the men's side and Gazan and
Emma.
Lawson going
Yeah.
on the women's side. And
But I
that is
wonder if they're having like another one go on because if I
they're having
remember correctly, I was supposed to go against like Brittany Weiss or something
okay.
if I would have done it. But
Okay.
maybe there's one before. Maybe they're like the pro lineup or something.
Yeah, Patrick Clark said last night to Carolyn that he may be in touch with her. So that might be a cool Canadian Carolyn Prevost and Hattie Kanyo.
Yeah, that'd be sick. I'd throw down with Carolyn.
Yeah. I think you guys would make a good matchup.
I think so too. That'd be good.
You're about the same height, similar skills in some ways.
Yeah.
Just hope they don't put a deadlift in there because she just is a monster on that.
Bro, I had to do a qualifier today with deadlifts and yeah, please don't put deadlifts in there.
Are you doing the NorCal?
Yeah.
Traveling double unders, easy, hard?
They're not too bad. It's funny because I've done those. So in for coaching, I will sometimes do that for teaching people double unders and even single unders. So I'll get 2 lineup and then I'll say, okay, let's go down the line, just teaching people, technique and tempo and whatever it is. So I'll have them go single unders and then we'll play around with like cross. I'll have people try to go in a circle single unders, and that is really hard. And then obviously try some double unders and stuff like that. But yeah, it's all about timing and stuff. So
Rashad wants me to ask about your pregame warm-up dances. I know all about those.
yeah, he knows. He knows.
Everybody knows that knows Hattie.
A little bit of Disney, a little bit of G-Eazy. That's all you need.
Yeah, and then enough chalk on your hand to leave a handprint on your ass before every lifting event.
Yep, 100%. It was funny. Yesterday, on Thursday, I was coaching, and one of the guys said, "Hey, were you cleaning earlier?" And I was like, oh yeah, I was." He's like, "Yeah, I know, because you have slap marks on your butt." Oh, okay. It's like, how did you know that?
Make me laugh and then I cough.
Sometimes you just got to slap your own butt,
Sometimes that's just what it takes to get through a day.
Yeah. And do a little dance, of course.
Yeah, I did that this morning at 10 a.m. just to get through a meeting.
Did a little dance or slapped your butt?
But
Oh, perfect.
yeah, it just gave me enough energy to get through that.
It really does. It just shocks the system. All of a sudden, you're like, woo, hello, okay.
Yeah. It's
Try
better
it
if I have
out,
my
everybody.
wife do it, but
Sorry?
it's better when I have my wife do it.
Oh, of
for me.
course.
When is Hattie upgrading her phone? I don't think it's her phone. I think it's just
No,
It
he's
is your
talking
phone.
about when I was on
Kill Taylor, I think. Are you talking about that, Jeremy? Because I have an Android. I get it. All my family hates me because I have an Android, but I'm not switching. So give it a rest.
I forgot you tried to kill Taylor. How did you have fun?
Yeah, it was fun. I knew it was going to be a really, really hard one to beat him because there was ring muscle ups. Like I am good at ring muscle ups, just not under that much fatigue. So yeah, it was fine. I wish I would have done the toast of our snatch one that he had a few weeks prior, that Ariel Lowen one, because that one would have been a lot of fun. But I'll try it again sometime. It's a cool concept. I love that they do that.
I was watching and I saw you pop on, and I immediately texted Tristan, and him and I were texting back and forth. Like, we have a shot. Can she do it? And he's like, it's going to have to be like a perfect day for her to pull it off.
Perfect. Yeah. And it was not. Those ring muscle ups got hard real quick.
Yeah. That happened to not just you, a lot of people.
Yeah.
Taylor's just really good at muscle ups.
Oh, he's insane.
And just someone in your corner. T-Bird, Android is the way.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, Hattie, I've kept you for an hour, and we like to not do that more than an hour. So I'm going to let you go, but thank you so much for helping me get back on the horse, interviewing athletes. This was awesome. And as always, I learned so much from you.
I appreciate you so much. And I'm glad that you asked me because I've been waiting, but I haven't wanted to push or anything either. So I'm just really happy that we got to chat.
Yeah. So with that, thank you so much for being here. We'll stay in touch, of course. And I'm sure you'll be back on the show in no time. With that, everybody, thank you for being here and being so participatory in the chat. It was awesome having you guys here tonight. And we'll see everybody next time on Clydesdale Interviews. Bye, guys.
Later.